Good morning, it's Bobbi from Rainbow Farm Reiki and Readings. How you going? It's a little bit cold and blustery here in northern Western Australia, but Rainbow Farm headquarters is fantastic. So as you can tell, it's nice and warm in here. I don't do cold at all. So I just wanted to jump on and have a bit of a chat, about the different definitions of like psychic, medium, empath, healers, tarot readings, all those different bits and pieces. So, because a lot of people get a little bit confused. So, a psychic. So, I'm a psychic medium, which means I just know things. I can see the future. I know things about people and about situations and about things. Medium meaning I also talk to the dead, which can be interesting. Tarot reading, because I do read tarot cards as well. So, the big thing is, with a psychic, they tend to have one or more of these different senses, and they're called the clairs. Now, clair meaning clear. So basically, clairvoyance will be clear seeing. Clairaudient will be clear hearing. So I have written some of these down just so that, because when it gets to the so I get the actual wording properly, because it gets a little bit like Okay, so we have clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, which basically we can see either inside, which is in our mind's eye, so inside, or we see with our eyes. So for me, I will say that there's been times that with my vision, I see picture in picture almost, or split screen. So basically, I will have what's happening here and now, what's going on. Everything's all great, everything's wonderful here, but then in here, if I'm seeing spirits, or if I'm, seeing other bits and pieces, like if there's someone trying to communicate with me, or if I'm seeing images, or like that whole deja vu thing, so it's going to be like split screen or picture in picture. So don't get stressed out if you start having that happen. It can be quite normal. I accept it as part of life. The only thing I've had to do is put down ground rules with my guides and say not while I'm driving, because the whole split screen or picture in picture can get just a tad confusing. So basically, clairvoyance means clear seeing. So you're seeing into the future. You're clearly seeing into the future. So clairaudience is clear hearing. So you're basically hearing spirits. So sometimes I will actually hear them, and it's almost like the spirit will stand here, and I actually hear them whispering into my ear, or I hear buzzing or talking or whatever. Or have you ever walked into a room and you've heard this? That's spirit talking. So that there is clairaudience. That is clear hearing. So we've then got clear empathy. So yeah, empathy is actually one of the clairs as well. And remembering, they're discovering new clairs every day, because there's different aspects that are coming to light. So you've got the clear empathy, which is sensing emotion. So while clairaudient, the clair for clairaudient and clairvoyant is clear, and then clear seeing and stuff, it's kind of, clear empathy is more about sensing emotions. So being an empath means that you sense other people's emotions. Now, clear empathy can be physical, so that you feel others' energy and you feel their ailments and their hurts and their pains. Or it can be an emotional one, where you pick up on their emotions. It can be any of those things. It's not just where you go in a room and you pick up other people's emotions. It can be that you're going and you're picking up their physicality. So there's that. So clairsentience is sensing, and that feel, just knowing. It's I call it the just knowing clair. It's where you can meet someone and you just know what happened to them in their past, what is going to happen to them in the future. You're not hearing anything, you're not seeing visions, you're not tasting anything, you're not smelling it, you just know. And that is one that a lot of psychics have. A lot of psychics have the clairvoyance and the clairsentience together, and that tends to be their groove thing. You know, I find that I have pretty much all of these, but it's taken years for me to actually learn to trust them. And then once you do it, it's like kapow. So, you know, then you've got... so I can't pronounce this one properly, but it is basically the sense of clear or... I can't pronounce it properly. I've got to be honest. So it's basically the clair that is about the sense of smell. So quite often when spirit comes through to me, I will smell, and I'm doing readings for people, I will smell this smell. You know, there's been times I've smelled their body odor, I've smelled their breath, I've smelled, you know, so it's a sense of smell. Sometimes when beautiful older ladies come through, I get a smell of lilacs or lavender. So the smell can be very good for validating for your clients when you're doing readings, you know, that here's the smell. So then you've got the clairgustance, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, it's about taste. So as I said, quite often when I am around people who are using intravenous drugs, I will taste a very yucky metallic taste in my mouth. There has been times that I have, you know, got there and had other tastes in my mouth, you know, from, you know, when people have come through and maybe it was their favourite food, and so they've given me that flavour in their mouth, and then once again it's more of a validation for the client that may be with me at that time, just to say, hey, this is what's going on. So then there you've got clairtangience. So this is the touch. So this is where you will feel spirit touch you. You will feel that touch on you. It might be a very common one is here, there. So the ruffle, you know, the gentle ruffle of the hair, or just that gentle, you know, when you're laying in bed and you're missing someone so much and you're laying there and you're sobbing, and that gentle touch there, or the, you know, those things. When you feel them, that is actually spirit connecting. So all of these different ways are ways for spirit to connect. So psychics actually have one or more of these clairs. So they are really, really, you know, and there's a lot more of them. Oh my gosh, there's so much. So basically it's smell, taste, touch, the knowing, the seeing, the, you know, the hearing. It's all of your senses come alive, and you just know, and the empathy, and it's just like. So now I will say mediums. So mediums talk to the dead, pure and simple. Mediums communicate with the dead. So I do call myself a psychic medium because I have all of those clear senses. I do talk to the dead as well, and quite often in my readings, deceased people. I don't market myself as a medium. I market myself as and say that I am a psychic medium. I don't just speak to dead people. There are people out there who just commune and communicate with dead people. Talking to your guides is a whole different matter. Your guides have been all the way through all their lessons in life. You know, they've lived all the lives and you know, been reincarnated and passed through, and basically passed the final test to be able to come forward and help guide other people. Whereas dead people, you know, they can be guides, but sometimes they're in a healing process. Sometimes they are waiting to be reborn. So it's very much, you know, like the mediums can talk to the dead. And so then tarot reading. So tarot reading falls into so many other categories. You've got angel cards, you've got crystal cards, you've got tarot cards, you've got oracle cards, you've got all of these different new cards that come out. So those ones are, you know, so you've got all of, they actually, some people are just trained and learn what the cards are and the meanings. So they are just a tarot. And I don't mean that derogatory, because it is a talent. It is an incredible talent learning all those cards. So some people are tarot readers. They're not psychics, they're not mediums, they are tarot readers. Some people are tarot readers that do, and they say they are intuitive. Basically, they're a psychic tarot reader. Some people can be a psychic medium and tarot reader. So there's a multitude of things that can be joined together. A lot of people use tools to anchor spirit, to bring spirit down through, to anchor them to them. So they can use cards, they can use crystals, they can use rune stones, they can use pendulums, they can use whatever they're using. It doesn't mean that they're psychic. It doesn't mean they're a medium. It just means that they are using a tool from their toolbox to anchor, to get messages through, and they're interpreting the messages. Then you've got the others that use tools that are psychic and medium. So you've got a wide, big range. Now healing is a whole nother format. So you've got people who are natural spiritual healers, people who are angelic healers. Now you've got natural born healers, spiritual, angelic, hands-on, whichever. And then you've got those that can be trained in spiritual, angelic, crystal, and all the rest of it. Then you've got different other modalities of Reiki. So there's Reiki, Usui Reiki, Reiki Sekim. Then you've got pranic healing, and you've got a lot of other different healing modalities. And I always say to people, when you're looking at a healing modality, please find one that works for you. Just because it works for someone else doesn't mean it's your groove thing. Find what works for you. It's no different than finding whether you prefer a tarot reader, an intuitive tarot reader, a psychic, a medium, a psychic medium, an amalgamation of all of them. Find what works for you, because if the person that you are connecting with, the person that you've paid to do your reading, that you are trusting with your innermost, that person, if you don't connect with them, then you won't let down the barriers so that then spirit can come through. And that's a really big thing that you need to be aware of. You need to basically let go and not put up those blocks, because the minute you put up those blocks, you've wasted your money. The minute that you put up those blocks and you go like, nope, there's parts of my life I don't want read, so that's it, then spirit's going to go, fine, basically bugger you, no reading for you. So be aware of that. Be aware that if you're a little bit of a control freak, not calling it whether it's good or bad, just stating a fact. Whether if you're a little bit of a control freak and you're trying to hide shit, and you are trying to hide shit, but you want a reading, but you don't want the reader to know everything because you're trying to hide sneaky shit, or you're trying to hide other stuff, just be aware it can't be one or the other. You can't go to a reader and go, well, hang on, I only want you to read about me what I want you to read, but I'm blocking the rest of the shit. Because the minute you start blocking and being sneaky, spirit is going to go, you've just done your dough, and that's a really big thing. And then you make it really hard for the reader themselves. So you're taking away the opportunity that you have for them to help you. So just be aware that when you go into a reading, it doesn't matter who it's with, whether it's with a medium, whether it's with a psychic, whether it's with a tarot reader, whether it's with a pendulum reader, whether it's with the angel cards, doesn't matter what it is. When you're going in to a reader and you're trusting them, because you need to, and you're trusting them, you need to be open. You can't be selective about what they are going to know and what they're not going to know, because once you start doing that shit, everything shuts down. And not just that, you're actually really screwing with the reader. I've got to be truthful and say you're really screwing with the reader, because then they start having self-doubts about, hang on a second, why am I not picking up this stuff? Because I should be getting more, and what's going on? And if you've got someone like me who uses the tarot cards as a bit of an anchor and reads the tarot cards, but is also intuitive and psychic, then it falls back that I will just do a standard reading of the tarot cards, which is not what I like to do. I like to be open and share everything with you. So be aware of what you're doing, okay? So, all right, have a great day from Rainbow Farm. Check out below, I've got heaps of courses happening at Rainbow Farm headquarters in Northern. Lots of courses, lots of info. If you feel like joining in with the courses, jump across to Facebook and check out my Facebook page as well. Have a fantastic day. Bye.